the United States is witnessing a profound demographic shift, a reshaping of its population map that is accelerating in the post-pandemic era. For decades, the narrative was one of relentless urbanization, with major coastal cities acting as powerful magnets for talent, capital, and ambition. But a new story is unfolding, one characterized by a significant exodus from these traditional power centers and a surge towards new frontiers of opportunity in the Sun Belt and Rocky Mountain West. This isn't merely a fleeting trend spurred by temporary circumstances. It's a complex realignment driven by a confluence of economic pressures, technological advancements, and a fundamental re-evaluation of what constitutes the American dream. The ripple effects of this great migration are far-reaching, poised to redefine local economies, strain infrastructure, and reshape the nation's political and cultural landscape for generations to come. At the heart of this movement is a mass departure from America's most densely populated and expensive metropolitan areas. States like California, New York, and Illinois are experiencing net domestic migration losses on an unprecedented scale. U.S. Census Bureau data reveals a stark picture between July 2022 and July 2023. California lost over 338,000 residents to other states, while New York saw a net outflow of more than 216,000 people. These numbers represent a continuation and, in some cases, an acceleration of trends that began before 2020 but were supercharged by the pandemic. The reasons for this urban exodus are multifaceted. The high cost of living, particularly the exorbitant price of housing, stands as the primary catalyst. For millions of households, the dream of homeownership in cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, or New York City has become an unattainable fantasy. A median-priced home in these markets can demand a seven-figure sum, pushing residents to seek affordability elsewhere. Compounding this financial strain are high state and local taxes, which further erode disposable income and create a powerful incentive to relocate to lower-tax jurisdictions. Beyond the economic calculus, quality of life concerns play a significant role. The daily grind of long commutes, traffic congestion, crime rates, and the general sense of overcrowding have led many to question the trade-offs of big city living. The social and political climate in these states, often perceived as overly regulated or ideologically rigid, also contributes to the decision for some to leave. The pandemic acted as an accelerant by demonstrating that for many white-collar professionals, physical proximity to a downtown office was no longer a prerequisite for employment. The rise of remote and hybrid work models untethered millions from their geographic anchors, granting them the freedom to prioritize lifestyle and financial well-being over location. This newfound flexibility transformed the theoretical desire to move into a practical reality, opening the floodgates for a demographic reshuffling. As coastal residents pack their moving vans, their destinations are increasingly concentrated in the Sun Belt and the Intermountain West. States like Florida and Texas have emerged as the primary beneficiaries of this migratory wave, attracting hundreds of thousands of new residents annually. This large-scale population shift is not without its challenges and consequences, both for the areas people are leaving and for the boom towns they are embracing. In the states experiencing an exodus, the demographic and economic impacts are becoming increasingly apparent. The loss of high-earning taxpayers can strain state and municipal budgets, potentially leading to cuts in public services or increases in tax rates for the remaining residents. As the tax base shrinks, funding for schools, infrastructure, and social programs comes under pressure. This can create a negative feedback loop where declining public services make these areas even less attractive, prompting further outmigration. There is also a brain drain effect, as many of those leaving are skilled professionals and entrepreneurs, taking their talent, innovation, and economic potential with them. For the cities they leave behind, this can mean a hollowing out of the urban core. With vacant office spaces and a struggling downtown commercial sector, a phenomenon visible in cities like San Francisco. Conversely, the high-growth destinations are grappling with the strains of rapid expansion. The very affordability that attracted new residents is now under threat. A surge in demand has sent housing prices and rental costs skyrocketing in cities like Boise, Phoenix, and Austin, creating new affordability crises for both newcomers and longtime residents. Infrastructure, built for much smaller populations, is being pushed to its limits. Roads are becoming congested, water resources are being strained, and school systems are struggling to accommodate the influx of new students. The rapid development required to house new residents often leads to urban sprawl. Environmental concerns and a loss of the very open space and small town feel that many movers were seeking. Socially, the influx of people from different regions, often with different cultural norms and political leanings, can create friction and change the character of local communities. This massive demographic realignment is therefore a double-edged sword, creating vibrant new centers of growth while simultaneously presenting immense logistical and social challenges that local and state governments are scrambling to address. Looking ahead, the trends of urban exodus and Sunbelt migration show few signs of abating, while the frenetic pace of movement seen during the peak of the pandemic may moderate. The underlying drivers remain firmly in place. The persistence of remote and hybrid work arrangements will continue to grant a significant portion of the workforce geographic flexibility. The stark and widening gap in housing affordability between coastal megacities and other regions will remain a primary motivator for relocation. As younger generations, particularly millennials and Gen Z, enter their prime home-buying years, they will increasingly look to markets where ownership is an achievable goal, further fueling growth in the South and West. States that continue to foster pro-growth, low-tax environments are likely to maintain their competitive edge in attracting both individuals and businesses. However, the long-term success of these boom regions will depend on their ability to manage the consequences of their growth. Proactive and strategic investments in infrastructure, sustainable development, and affordable housing initiatives will be critical to prevent them from succumbing to the same problems of congestion and high costs that plague the cities people are fleeing. For the states experiencing population loss, the challenge will be to adapt and reinvent themselves. This may involve policy changes aimed at improving business competitiveness, addressing the cost of living, and enhancing the quality of life to retain current residents and attract new ones. Ultimately, this great American migration is a dynamic and ongoing process, a powerful reflection of the nation's constant search for opportunity and a better life. The full economic, political, and cultural ramifications of this historic population shift will continue to unfold over the coming decade, redrawing the map of American prosperity and power in real time.